Okay, I am back at home this week making this video. It is a sunny day, as you can tell from behind me. Let's talk about last week. Last week you had your first proctored test. You were able to use one sheet of notes, front and back. I hope that you took advantage of that. If nothing else, it's nice to have. I have notes for this video that I'm making. It's just nice to have that kind of security blanket with you, whether you feel like you need them or not. I think it helps with test anxiety and just test preparation in making the sheet. So I hope you took advantage of that, and I hope you did not wait till the last minute. If you did poorly on that proctored test, your only option is to improve that grade on the final exam. So for everybody in the class, I will drop your lowest test grade, one proctor test grade, and replace it with the final exam if the final exam is higher. So if your first proctor test was not what you expected it to be, then you need to work really, really hard for the remainder of the course. Make sure that is your lowest proctor test grade, and then you can drop it and replace it with the final exam, assuming you make higher. So I know some of you were discouraged with that first test grade. Now that you have kind of the kinks out and you know what the proctor, service is like, maybe that can help you to be more successful with all the tests going forward, including that final exam. You also had a probability task. Probability is an easier section. Students really like it. It's something that we're typically familiar with. Make sure you know how to reduce. So if the probability is 2 out of 4, you would have to reduce that to 1 over 2. I use my calculator, and so we've talked about that, but probability should be in reduced form. Let's talk about this week. This week you have a discussion board about your type of intelligence. I love this discussion board. Students really, it's one of my best discussion board participations in the semester because it's just interesting and students like it. And I love it. And so one thing I have learned in my many years of life, and I'm trying to teach this to my almost 16-year-old daughter. She hasn't bought into it yet, but every human being is smart in their own way. We're not all smart at math. We're not all smart at piano. We're not all smart at bodybuilding. We're not all athletically inclined. I'm definitely not gifted in athletics, but I'm smart in my own way. I have a super high intelligence for organization. And I know that that is something that I'm really smart at because I see other people in my life, like my husband, for example. He just doesn't know how to go into a space and organize it. His brain just does not operate that way. He's neat, he's tidy, he's clean. But like organizing is just not something he's smart at. Whereas my husband's super sporty, so he's smart in that area. He can remember digits. He remembers like phone numbers from 20 years ago, and I don't. So everybody, I believe with all my heart that everybody, if you're watching this video, you are smart. You are kind. If you know what movie I'm referring to, you are beautiful, but that's a movie reference. You are smart, and you might not be smart in this class. You might not be smart in math, and you might not ever be smart in math, but that is okay. Find out what you are good at and blossom in those areas. So I'm saying all that because the multiple intelligence survey is just a survey you take online. You don't spend a ton of time. You read the question and answer it. You don't like overanalyze it because if you do, your results will be skewed. But you take the survey, and then at the end of the survey, you submit it, and it's going to give you your top 3 intelligences. And so you're going to write a discussion board post about those intelligences and how they play out in your life, and then you're going to respond. So make sure you read my post first. We have a lot of people just posting on the discussion boards, and I can tell they never looked at what I said because theirs is not organized properly. You also are going to be studying expected value this week. This is a little bit harder. It's not as easy as what we did last week with probability. You're combining the probability from last week with the value of that expected probability this week. If you'll watch my videos, if you will watch the task on My Open Math, I think it's task 16, you will get a check for that. If you watch that video and follow it to the end, it'll ask you a question, and if you answer that question, you'll get 100. So make sure you watch task 16. I'm pretty sure it's task 16. And then you're going to take an unproctored test. So this is not proctored. It's going to count in the unproctored category of test grades on Moodle. It covers last week's little probability section and then the expected value this week. If you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, I will be in touch, and I will see you next week. Thanks.